Hey guys. Okay, so today's video is kind of a random one. I woke up today with a sore throat, not feeling very good, and but I still want to get a video out to you guys. So I made a list here. Today's video, I'm gonna be doing my interior must-haves for living in an RV. It is 3:26 p.m. so I was trying to get this filmed before we lost light. But as I sat down, it was already starting to get dark, so does it look better without the light on? I don't know, it's prettier. So let's just get right into it. My number one must-have for living in an RV kind of goes for anyone because you never know which kind of climate you're gonna be in. And it's the very first thing we learned, and that is a dehumidifier. We ordered so many different small dehumidifiers that are like made to put on like a table or a dresser. None of them were able, even when we had 3 of them going at one time, they were not able to keep up with the humidity. Actually, the very first time we realized we needed or had a humidity issue was it got really cold the first winter we had moved. We had just moved in November, and so we weren't in the RV very long before it got pretty cold. And we had a bead of water in the back of our cabinets all along the top of the kitchen. And immediately we were just like, oh my gosh, we've got a leak. And we thought, oh, we got to move out of the RV. We're screwed. My husband immediately went in the other room and started researching what was going on, and turns out they were all humidity issues in the slides, because these slides don't have as good insulation as the rest of the RV. And so we immediately were like, okay, we got to get a dehumidifier. So we kept all the cabinets open and we're wiping them down constantly because we had the same issue. Our bed is in a slide out, so we had the same issue, and still until we got the blanket up, still we're having issues a year later. So I will link a similar dehumidifier in our video, just 2 videos or 3 videos ago. When I did the RV slide and skirting video, I showed the dehumidifier that we use, and I'll show it again, but I don't think they sell it anymore on Amazon. So I'll try to find one similar. The one that I found similar in that video was a little more expensive because we got ours on like a Christmas deal, I think. But they are like $200. It does take up a lot of room, and luckily we have this large island and we were able to put it on the end of the island. But if we were to have one in our bedroom as well, it would not fit. It wouldn't fit to be in there. So putting the insulation blanket on the bedroom was a necessity this year and has helped immensely. So I will link everything in this video down below. By the way, if you are new here, please subscribe. I am brand new to YouTube. I think I'm only a couple months in, and I think it came out to like 12 videos, maybe 11 videos. And starting the new year, I want to do as much RV living as we can, but we are only a year in and we don't travel. We live permanently stationary, and so our life is a little different than the average full-time RVer. But we do still run into the same issues, and I'm sure we have different resolutions than other people have. So we really just wanted to share those. We're here living with 6 dogs in an RV, my husband and I, and so our life, it also includes the what it's like to live with 6 dogs and just regular lifestyle videos. So if you're into that kind of thing, please consider subscribing down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. It'll help reach others. So let's move into number 2. Number 2 is an absolute must-have that I got last year for Christmas from my husband's family, and that is a cordless vacuum. Ours is the Dyson. I will link the exact one down below, but it's a necessity. I have, I'll link my other favorite vacuum, but it is a corded vacuum. However, it is so powerful. It's also lightweight and small, but again, corded. So for us living in such a small space, having no cord is just the best way for us to store it and also use it regularly. We do run into a run out of battery situation, so I think in the future I might look into the longer battery vacuum, but for now I think it does about 20 minutes of battery life, and then like on max, which is usually what we're using it on, it does like 7 minutes, which if you realize how much you actually vacuum, it's usually enough time. But number 3, it kind of goes with number 2, and that is the cordless mop, and that is called the Bissell Spin Wave. Though they have washable pads on the bottom, same concept as the vacuum, stores, plugs in, and then you can just use it whenever. This one does have a container on the front that fills, you can put solution in or hot water, but I just use the Method Squirt and Mop floor cleaner, and I will link that as well. For me, that's just easiest to store. I don't have to leave liquid in it, and then it won't get like chunky. Throw the pads in the wash and then plug it back in. It works great. Number 4 is for dog owners, and I have 6 of them. So my biggest tip would be to get quality dog beds. We've been through every dog bed you can imagine. And so the dog beds we went with actually are the same brand as our mattress. We have a purple mattress. So we found out that they have dog beds. And the reason we decided to go with them is because one of our dogs, Brinkley, is like 150 pounds, and we have 2 small, 2 medium, and 2 large dogs. And as you know, in an RV, you're limited on space, but we wanted them to have their own space that also felt kind of like they were in a bed. So we ended up getting 2 of the extra large mattresses, or dog beds from the mattress company, Purple. And I think they're like $200 each. They're very expensive, but they have lasted so well, not to mention are so comfortable, and we do have dogs of all ages with different medical issues, like Conky has spinal arthritis. So having a comfy space for them is very important to us. They are our top priority. They don't sleep in our bed anymore. They used to when we had a king size bed. They would all be in it, and it was just so so much that we knew when we moved in here that we were going to make a change with that, but we still wanted them to feel like they were in a bed, so we did build a platform bed using an old bed frame that we had, and they love it. Works great. Yeah, dog beds, yes, definitely. Number 5 is a Nespresso. Now this one is not a necessity in life in general, but in my life, I cannot live without it now. My husband cannot live without it. So Nespresso's pods are very actually expensive. If you compare them to like a coffee shop, they're not, but if you compare them to like Keurig, which is what we used to use, they are a little more expensive. And considering sometimes we use multiple pods in 1 cup of coffee, it can get kind of pricey. However, we have budgeted that in, and that's just a part of our life. So having that and a milk frother that goes with it, again, I will show you those up on the screen, but also I will link them down below, the one we have and the frother that we have. Number 6 is command strips and command hooks. I could not live in here without command strips and command hooks. Anything we put up on the wall, decor wise, if you saw my very first video on YouTube that I will also link, I used command strips to hold anything up on the wall. Garland for Christmas lights, for pictures, for everything. The wreaths on the cabinets, the wreaths on the doors, everything you can see hanging, they're held up by command hooks. And to not damage your walls, and if you change decor a lot and you change positions of things a lot, They're just a necessity. They don't damage your wall, but they're also strong enough to hold up. Necessity number 7 is a tool bin inside your RV. Those are also where I store my command hooks. So I have a bin labeled tools and adhesives because those are like my number one used things in the RV. So we have a plug-in cordless drill. We also have our power drills, which I have one underneath the storage of the RV, but we also have one out in the shed that they're my husband's. So for more intense stuff, we'd use those. But when you just need, I have carpal tunnel, so when you just need to like use like a regular screwdriver, I can't do that because my hands go numb. So if having the power drill, which even using the power drill, pushing the button, my hands go numb, but it does it a lot faster and I'm able to get away with it. Having a tool bin is a necessity. We use it all the time for all different types of things. And I feel like for most people who live in an RV, they have to adjust things or fix things randomly, and having that inside is a necessity. Goodness gracious, if I say necessity one more time, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to go ahead and look it up here so I have some synonyms for the future. Number 8, this is so weird, such a weird one, but it's a rolling cart for our shoes. So everyone kind of, when they get into an RV or they remodel an RV, they have their way of putting in shoe storage, and everybody does it a little bit differently. Because our RV was a 2021 brand new, we didn't really want to do a ton of stuff to it for resale purposes. So putting in any sort of built-ins were just not something we wanted to do because we didn't want that to affect the resale value. So we opted for a rolling cart from Target, and it fits under the counter right when you walk in next to our dog water perfectly. And it also fits plenty of shoes, but you can also switch them out. So like wintertime, you'd have your winter stuff in there, and then summertime, you'd have your summer stuff. So yeah, that just kind of works out for us. It also makes it super easy because I'm a clean freak. I am vacuuming 2-3 times a day. So being able to vacuum under there just makes it easier if there's not like a permanent structure or something that you have to pick up and move out. It just rolls out, I vacuum, I clean it. And then occasionally during the summer months, it does kind of fill up with like dog hair a little bit if the dogs are shedding really bad. So I do have to take out the shoes and like vacuum that and wipe those out occasionally. But for the most part, I'd say that it's really easy to clean and keep up with. So having that for us is huge. And now we've got 9 and 10 are just 2 bonus ones for wintertime. I feel like they have become the biggest necessities going through our second winter now. So my mom recommended we get a heated blanket for our bed. This was now when we were having the humidity issues and we didn't have the blanket or the insulation blanket on yet, it would get really cold in our room. So my mom's like, why don't you get a heated blanket? We had one of those, you know, when you were growing up, and you'd get dual side, you could each do your own temperature. And I was like, that's a good idea. So I got one at Costco, which I don't know if I'll be able to link because they're usually like seasonal like buys and they change every year, but I'm sure you can find one on Amazon that has great reviews at a price point that works for you. For us, it was important to have an auto shut off and a dual side and a washable, which I believe they all are nowadays. But so I will try to find one on Amazon to link down below that I would maybe purchase if I hadn't gotten one at Costco. And then number 10 is also a blanket, but it is our fur blanket from Pottery Barn. We have 2 of them, and we keep it on the couch. So in any of the videos you've seen so far, if you see any photos of our couch or just us on the couch, there's a fur blanket there. These fur blankets are ridiculously costly. Like, they are so expensive. So I'm pretty sure you could get one just about anywhere. Now they make faux fur blanket, and they are faux fur. So these are from these are from Pottery Barn, and they were, I believe, like $200. But they are so warm, they are so weighted, So when you're sitting, our couch is in the slide out, and it can get kind of cold in this area, even though we do have a fireplace, electric heater, and the furnace, and it keeps it really warm in here. The insulation on the slide out and all the windows on the slide out make it kind of cold. So having the fur blanket is so huge. I get really, really cold, and when I have that fur blanket on, oh, huge chunk of snow just fell. When I have that fur blanket on, I am so warm so quick, and also my little girls love it. They sleep on that thing all the time. If they have a choice between that or like the throw pillows, they choose the blanket. If I'm feeling really nice, I'll put the throw pillows down and then I'll lay the blanket over and make it kind of a heighted bed for them, and they just absolutely love it. And that's it. There's so many things we use regularly in here that I couldn't live without, but those items are things that we use not only on a regular day-to-day basis, but also have learned from and needed through the years. That dehumidifier is absolutely our number one. It is something that when you move into an RV, you don't know. No one tells you. So I think it's really important to hear people's story of how they, live in these, and it really just helps you out. So I hope this video was helpful, and if you want to see more, subscribe down below, and I will see you in our next one. So much love. Bye.